Hello, hello. So Donald Trump said he will be patrolling the streets of DC tonight with the National Guards. All right. So our president have nothing else to do but to patrol the streets of DC tonight. Yep. That's what his top priority of things to do as a president is, to patrol the street of DC. You go, Donald Trump, asshole.
So, mein Führer, boom. He will be patrolling the streets of Washington, D.C. tonight. That's right. Be on the lookout for a chubby, marshmallowy, orange-looking man on the streets of Washington, D.C. tonight. He will be playing the role of dictator, just like Mussolini on a tank, rolling through the streets, looking over all the criminal activity, flanked by soldiers and unmasked ICE agents and who knows what else. How freaking absurd is this? This is a joke. They're announcing ahead of time, too, that he's going to be out patrolling the streets. He wouldn't dare to patrol the streets in any normal fashion, so they're going to have streets blocked off, and who knows, the beast is going to be moving through the streets. What a buffoon. What an absolute circus this is. Again, just look out for the blubbery man with the poofy hair and the orange makeup and the diaper, and apparently you'll be able to smell him from a block away. And please report back to us, and please like this video, share this video, save this video, and comment on this video. It helps get the word out, and all of those who are like-minded individuals, it spreads the word and keeps us strong. So thanks very much for your attention in this matter.
He hates black people. He hates black people. He said terrible, dangerous cities like Oakland, Baltimore, DC, because they're majority black population cities. He hated black people when he took out 4 full-page ads in New York newspapers calling for the Central Park 5 to be executed. Innocent black children. He hated black people when he picked Haitian immigrants to bully because he knew dumbass white-skinned Latinos like me would fucking fall for that shit. He hates black people. He fucking hates black people. I don't know how much clearer he can get.
We need to have a little chat and reality check now that it's been a few days since the Tangerine Tyrant federalized and took over DC. Yes, I'm in bed. No, I do not care. Welcome, Bedtime Chats with Mia. Now that we see more and more National Guard troops and other uniformed folks in the streets of DC, I've come to realize we're the ones that they're testing. They're testing the American public and how much they will stand or not stand. What is that line? That is the one thing this administration cannot account for or control. They don't know where the line is. Now, last night, the fine folks of DC did come out and express some displeasure at checkpoints being set up in their city, and good on them. But that's not really going to stop much of anything. I'm just going to be honest with you, and you're going to say, oh, you're being negative again. No, it's great that they're doing that. But when are enough people across this country going to do that? When are people in positions of power going to say enough is enough? Is it when Tangerine Tyrant ignores Congress and just keeps control of the Metropolitan PD forever? Will that be the thing? Will it be a made-up emergency in a major city in this country where he sends the troops into, say, Chicago or New York? Will that be it? Or is it just never going to happen until it happens to you? Until it happens in your town? And that's something I don't know, and the administration doesn't know. And they're going to keep pushing the limits and boundaries until they figure out what that is. And then they're going to play within that, for that fence, that boundary, for a little bit. I've seen this before. It happened. There was a government in Central Europe that did this in the 1930s. Okay? Pattern recognition, y'all. History. Knowledge is power. They're going to keep pushing until they normalize things, and then they push a little more. But when are the people in power going to do anything? Will they ever do anything?
If you think Trump's plan to take over DC's police department is about catching crime, It's not. This is about stoking white fear, making black people seem dangerous. The Trump administration wasted no time, less than half a day before posting photos of black men they've arrested on the official White House social media pages. It's a calculated move to stigmatize black people, especially black men, as criminal thugs to be feared. There is not even a single white man that they have arrested and posted on the social media page, y'all. Here's the truth. Violent crime in DC is at a 20-year low. It's dropped since 2023 and 2024. White folks will think this is solely about distracting from the Epstein files, but the harm this stigmatization will have on our communities will be widely felt for black people. They've been running this playbook on Latinos since Trump took office. Now they're turning it on black communities. An anti-black, anti-brown campaign dressed up as fighting crime. This is even worse than when the Clintons labeled black youth in our communities as super predators, because MAGA is creating the image of what a super predator looks like. Black people with children in DC, watch them. Especially watch your boys, because racial profiling and police violence is about to skyrocket there. Y'all be safe.
We have a thing going on right now in D.C. We went from the most unsafe place anywhere to a place that now friends are calling me up, Democrats are calling me up, and they're saying, sir, I want to thank you. My wife and I went out to dinner last night for the first time in 4 years, and Washington, D.C. is safe. And you did that in 4 days.
Did you see this new poll out of DC? It rips Trump's whole new law and order lie to pieces. Let's start with the facts. 79% of DC residents don't want Trump's federal takeover of their police. 61% actually said they feel less safe with National Guard and FBI marching around. Less safe, not more. So who exactly is Trump protecting? This man swears he's the hero of the Capitol, talking about Democrats calling to thank him. Come on now. DC gave Trump 6% of the vote. 6%. His approval rating in the city is 15%. Ain't nobody ringing him up to say thank you. What the people are really saying is, we need jobs, we need stricter gun laws, we need local cops that we can actually hold accountable, and we need community outreach. Not soldiers with rifles on our street corners. Folks don't even see crime as a bigger crisis now than they did last spring. So while Trump is screaming, danger, danger, the lived reality is that crime is easing despite his occupation. His solution don't match the problem. This ain't about safety. It's about control. It's about Trump trying to flex like DC is his personal stage to look tough while he plays dictator. But here's the question that we need to wrestle with. If nearly 8 out of 10 people who actually live in DC say no to this takeover, what does it say about democracy if one man can ignore their voices and flood their streets with troops anyway? That's not leadership. That's occupation. And if he can do it to DC, what makes you think your city isn't next?
So let me get this straight, because I'm so tired. The Trump administration is saying that the streets of Washington, D.C., our nation's capital, are less safe than the streets in Baghdad. And that is why the National Guard needs to be sent to rein in crime. When crime has been at its lowest in our nation's capital. I've lived in Washington, D.C. now for the last 5 years. And to say that it's less safe than the streets of Baghdad is asinine and beyond false. I mean, what world is this guy living in? Folks, this is fundamentally how dictatorships are created. He says he wants to beautify the city. What, in his image? Paint the streets with gold? Put up Trump statues all over the place? I mean, this is the type of stuff that comes from dictators. He wants all the homeless people gone, and he's going to have the National Guard round them up. But the crazy thing is, just a couple of years ago, you had people storming our nation's capital, threatening the life of the Speaker of the House. the Vice President of the United States of America. And Donald Trump refused to call in the National Guard for hours. Was at the White House watching it all take place. But now you want to call in the National Guard to round up homeless people and to get rid of this crime that's worse than the streets of Baghdad? Give me a break.
Be the get serious about this. We all know what Trump is doing. He's just told the homeless people of DC that they have to leave, right? So what's going to end up happening is these homeless people are going to start disappearing because where the fuck going to go? They're homeless, right? So what he's going to do is he's going to start pulling them off the streets, and what he's going to do is legally make them slaves. We already know that's what he's doing with the immigrants and the people that he deems to not be legal in the United States. He is making them legal slaves. He's already voiced this. He's already said this in plain context. We have videos of him saying what his plans were. These people are going to start disappearing off the street. They've already been disappearing off the street and being taken into custody. And they are going to be created and made into legal slaves to be workers, because that is what Donald Trump's goal is. We're not going to sit here and pussyfoot and play like that is not what the fucking goal is. You MAGA already know what the fuck it is. Y'all already know what he's doing. You guys are okay with it because it's lining the rich people, the rich white folks' pockets to have undocumented workers as slaves because they're undocumented. Nobody's going to be looking for them. Well, their family is going to be looking for them, but 9 times out of 10, their families are with you, right? Now the homeless people are going to start disappearing off the streets of fucking DC. And mark my word, when I tell you this is not even the beginning of the chaos, and the people who voted for him, baby, the way karma is going to come in for y'all, I can't wait. I cannot wait. But one thing I will tell you, if you think that you're going to have the black community go backwards, you got another thing mistaken. We are not the fucking same. And let me tell you something. Most of our ancestors didn't play either. We're not going to keep pussyfooting and making it seem like our ancestors who went through slavery were weak, because there were a lot of strong help black folks get the fuck out of their situations, killed even. We're not going to forget that. We're not going to brush that aspect of slavery under the fucking rug.
He hates black people. He hates black people. He said terrible, dangerous cities like Oakland, Baltimore, DC, because they're majority black population cities. He hated black people when he took out 4 full-page ads in New York newspapers calling for the Central Park 5 to be executed. Innocent black children. He hated black people when he picked Haitian immigrants to bully because he knew dumbass white-skinned Latinos like me would fucking fall for that shit. He hates black people. He fucking hates black people. I don't know how much clearer he can get.
Fear-mongering at its best. The reason why President Trump actually kicked off and did this is because a 3-year-old black girl died. Because all of the violence that's been happening in Washington, D.C. Now, I sit back and I tell myself, why do all the Democrats love crime so much? Like, if you really think about it, out of the top 25 states, at least 22 of them are democratically ran. And do you also notice whenever these people are trying to push their bullshit, they always try to target the black folks? This be their favorite thing to do. Black folks are over here minding their own business, and Democrats keep trying to bring them into their bullshit. And she's gonna downplay that she's a white Latina? Girl, have some pride. That is fear-mongering at its best, because shit makes no sense how the Democrats loves crime so much. They love to say, oh, President Trump is this, President Trump is that. President Trump is militarizing Washington, D.C. and all that other weird shit that these people are saying. But whenever you ask the people of Washington, D.C., they will tell you straight up what President Trump is doing is good. Like, I'm not trying to listen to no Olivia Juliana that doesn't know what the fuck is going on. And how the fuck does cleaning up the streets means that he hates black people? Unfortunately, a majority of the people that's doing crime in Washington, D.C. are black people. Because the residents of Washington, D.C. are literally coming on here and telling us the people that are committing crimes are the people who look like us. The people that's robbing and killing us is the people who look like us.
Hey family, so Donald Trump right now is dispatching FBI as well as some military on the streets of Washington, D.C. because he says he wants to crack down on crime in D.C. That's not what he's doing. I'm going to tell you what the reason is. He's trying to get out of the black people out of D.C. Trust me, I've grown up in the D.C., Maryland, Virginia area all my life. I affectionately love D.C. It's my home. And so also, years ago, affectionately, it was known as Chocolate City. Washington, D.C. is a town where black people have excelled extremely in academics with the esteemed Howard University. They have excelled with government working. You have very extremely wealthy black people working and living in D.C. Let me give you all a brief history about D.C. Like I told you, many years ago, before parts of D.C. became gentrified, meaning white folk coming in, black people lived in D.C. D.C. has its own culture, a beauty, a flow, a rhythm. And yes, like any other town, any other city, there's crime. I mean, Trump would know he is a convicted felon. However, him calling in the FBI is his way. Again, it is a ethnic cleansing of black people to get them out of D.C. And what's going to happen is he's trying to apply so much pressure that black folk who live in D.C. are going to be afraid and move. Black people, if you're in D.C., don't you move. It's bad enough that many of you all who used to own homes all up and through D.C. sold it, and now they were remodeled and white folk have taken it over and living in a paradise utopia. Don't move. Don't let this man put fear in you, because that's what he's doing. He doesn't give a damn about the crime rate in D.C. You have to remember, everything that this administration, everything that this president does, it's a hidden meaning, it's a hidden cloak, a hidden dagger behind it. So it might sound good that he wants to clean up crime in D.C. However, that's not the motive. It's to, one, to inflict fear, and two, it is to do so much so where either they are arresting just any and every black person, or to the point where black people are afraid and will just move out. That's what's happening. You have to remember, he is a real estate developer. If you are a real estate developer, you think about how you can develop an area for your own financial profit and gain. And that is what he wants to do with DC. And shame on the Supreme Court, the highest court of the land, that now we can't even trust you because you all have given him carte blanche to do this type of bullshit. I have a question for you, Ketanji, the black woman on the Supreme Court. How are you voting? I'm going to pull up your voting record. Why are you all been bought? What does he have on you all that you are allowing him to do this to our fine, beautiful city? So again, you all, don't believe the hype. It's DC today. It'll be your city tomorrow.
Around 46% of DC's population is black. Trump just took over Washington, D.C. And if you don't think it's going to hit the black residents the hardest, then you're not paying attention. But now local leaders, many of them black, have zero say over policing. Now Trump's little pit bull, Pam Bondi, controls the force. He's ordering the homeless out immediately. We already know that forced removal of unhoused residents hits black residents disproportionately, as systematic housing discrimination has left black DC residents. DC already has no voting representation in Congress. Down, even its local self-government is being overwritten. This is a power strip from a majority black city, and it's all happening right now.
I'm so confused. Donald Trump told us that he didn't have the authority to deploy the National Guard during the January 6th insurrection. But now he has the authority to deploy the National Guard on DC. There is no national emergency in DC. DC is actually dealing with some of the lowest crime rates in the last decade. But yet he's deploying the National Guard because one of Doge staff members were attacked. Donald Trump sending the National Guard into cities that are predominantly led by black folks is not a coincidence. All of this is happening in broad daylight. But they are telling us what they want to do. This is fascism. There's no if, ands, or buts about it. He wants to deploy nearly 1,000 National Guards to DC, the same amount that he deployed to Los Angeles, which is 3 times the size, if not more, than DC. And I used to live in DC. I was also on the Police Oversight Commission. And one of the real frustrations of being on the Police Oversight Commission is that there are so many police agencies that already exist within DC. DC is already over-policed. So if crime is continuing to happen, it goes to show that police are not the solution to reduce crime.
How far does Trump have to take this for y'all to realize this is 1930s Germany? How far does he have to take this for y'all to realize this is 1940s Italy? This is Mussolini. This is fascism at its highest. It's so infuriating that y'all are not seeing it. And we told y'all not to vote for him. And now that we told y'all this over and over and over and over again, we the ones that have to deal with the consequences. DC, Maryland, Virginia, the DMV, people who work in the city. They're federalizing DC police. They're sending the National Guard. They're deploying the National Guard. DC isn't even top 10 in crimes in the country. The 10th most dangerous city in America is in Colorado. There's no National Guard going to Colorado. I mean, how far does he have to take this? There's no freedom of press. He's deploying the National Guard. He's attacking the homeless and the children in DC. He's comparing DC to Bogota, Colombia. Does he just wake up and just spew out nonsense and then just deploy things? And who the... Oh my God. The amount of power and the amount of unconstitutional things that he's been able to do. It hasn't even been a year. It's barely been 6 months. I don't know, y'all. I don't even know what to say. Like, I'm really